This season of the Urban Conservative podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at NewtonForSenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It is 9 a.m., so it is time for Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the interwebities. I am Abdul Ali. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Urban Conservative. And as always, if you haven't done so already, please jump on over to TUCONSERVATIVE.com to support what we do here at the Urban Conservative, which is to spread conservative values and principles and the benefits of conservative policies to urban communities across this great nation of ours. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So before we jump into this morning's show, a couple of quick things that I want to plug, if y'all don't mind. First and foremost, I want to give this a plug here. The Queen City Republican Club has a meeting tomorrow. They will be hosting Representative John Bradford and Representative John Hardister. Both are running for office, statewide office here in North Carolina. John Bradford is a member of the NC House and candidate for treasurer. John Hardister is also a member of the House, the North Carolina House Majority Whip, and he is running for the Commissioner of Labor. They will provide a legislative update on the work they're doing in Raleigh, including recent overrides of Governor Cooper's vetoes. They'll also be sharing their visions for their statewide offices for which they are running. Come network with fellow conservatives and meet the special guest. Each attendee will be entered to win Republican prizes. Members receive 2 entries. So join today, which I have done. Again, this is going down tomorrow, the 14th of September from 6 to 8 at Blackfin Ameripub in Ballantyne, 14825 Ballantyne Village Way, Suite 100 in Charlotte. Again, support the Queen City Republican Club as they host Representative John Bradford and Representative John Hardister. They got 2 Johns, with and without an H. That's what's up. Also, going down this Saturday is the Minority Political Power Conference. That is going to be happening in Charlotte. It is going to be going down Saturday at 9 a.m. If you haven't done so already, you can go to Charlotte, mppc23.eventbrite.com. Very special confirmed guest. We've got Mi-Sung Kim, who is a Republican running for Charlotte mayor. We got NC House Rep Ken Fontenot, who is the only Black Republican in the legislature. We have our good friend from the Libre Initiative to talk about the Hispanic community, Jeffrey Baldwin. We're going to be joined by AFP of North Carolina to do some legislative training. So again, that is going down this coming Saturday in Charlotte. You can go to the Urban Conservative for tickets. I got to give a big shout out to our sponsors, AFP, Libre, and us here at the Urban Conservative. So now that, ladies and gentlemen, we've got all the preliminaries out of the way, I think this is what we're going to be looking at in North Carolina after the primaries. This is the race that I think we are going to be looking at. And if you don't live in North Carolina, you don't know who these 2 gentlemen are. The one on the right is our current Attorney General, Josh Stein, who is running for governor. And the man on the left is our current Lieutenant Governor, Mark Keith Robinson, who is running for governor, who is a very heavily favored Republican coming out of the primary. He is like way ahead in the polls and all that. But the interesting thing, the reason I bring this up is because there's a poll that was just released, and it wasn't released by Republicans. It wasn't released by conservatives. This poll was released from the left. You hear it. It's in the left. Now, Carolina Forward, which promotes policies that lean liberal in the political aisles, used Change Research to poll 914 likely North Carolina voters from September 1st to the 5th. And get this is not the right saying it. Okay, this is not the right. This is not conservatives. This is the left. Carolina Forward is not by any measures, and I'm going to pull up their website. Carolina Forward, by no measure, from what I'm hearing, is anything, uh, but the right. Yeah, and then to look at them, they got the eagle. Yeah. So this poll actually is showing through Change Research that Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson leads Attorney General Josh Stein 42-38 in a race following follow-term limited Governor Roy Cooper and 20% undecided. The margin of error on the poll is plus 3.6%. So he's well within that margin of error. Now, this breakdown across demographics shows Stein is leading among Democrats, of course, women, non-white, urban, and suburban voters, while Robinson holds an advantage with Republicans, men, whites, and rural voters. Independents favored Stein by 6%, 26-20, with 55% of those polled undecided. So you have unaffiliated independents. What they mean unaffiliated is because we don't have an independent party in North Carolina. They mean unaffiliated to breaking for the Democrats to a certain extent. Now, it is a similar situation in the presidential election with Republicans, former President Donald Trump ahead of Joe Biden 46-42 with 12% undecided. Now, that is here in North Carolina, ladies and gentlemen. What we're talking about is that Republicans, it appears, based on these polls, essentially it's ours to lose. We have to, something amazing has to occur in North Carolina if there's any, and we all know you take polls with a grain of salt, right? We still got a lot of green between here and primary day. But again, these are the two front runners. And if things are to be considered, it is ours as Republicans to lose. It is ours to lose. We need to make sure we are making ourselves as Republicans and our Republican candidates accessible to the unaffiliated voter, because as you can tell by the poll results that I just read here, that's who we need to be focusing on right now. Our energy, our effort needs to be on ensuring that this Republican Party, right, that the Republican Party is attractive to the unaffiliated voter. Okay, and I'll share this with you so you can see what I'm seeing. The breakdown across demographics shows Stein, again, leading among Democrats, which we expect. Women is something we as conservatives and non-whites we need to work on, and urban voters, while Robinson is winning among men, white, and rural voters. So what that tells me, is that the strategy of Republicans appealing to the unaffiliated voters is key. We have to make sure if we're going to take the governor's mansion in 2023, Republicans aren't going to win it at the ballot box. And what I mean by that is if every Republican votes Republican and every Democrat votes Democrat, we lose. We have to make sure that we're going after the unaffiliated voter. People, and look, let's just call it what it is. With the amount of drama that the Republican Party keeps in public, the amount of dirty laundry that they air in public, we got to do a better job of containing some of that madness, be playing on the same team, all rowing at the same time. Now, it's a similar situation in the presidential election. Again, Biden is losing 46-42 with 12% undecided. That means Trump takes North Carolina according to this poll. 91% of Democrat voters back Joe Biden. 92% of Republicans are for Trump, who enjoyed support from 56% of men, 55% of whites, and 59% of rural voters. Biden led with 60% of non-white voters, 76% of urban voters, and 47% women. What that tells me, and what that should tell you, is look at that 60% non-white voter. What that tells me is we've got to do a better job as Republicans in getting our message to the minority community, to getting our message inside of these urban centers. Our urban engagement strategy going into 2024 has to be something we've never done on the right. We have to be willing to put these candidates in communities that they typically don't go after. Because again, you're going to get every Republican's going to vote Republican. Every Democrat's pretty much going to vote Democrat. It's these folks in the middle that we're going to have to work on. And I don't think that there's, to an extent, the culture war issues are important, but people want to know how we're going to get the cost of food down. People want to know how we're going to get the cost of fuel down. People want to know how we're going to manage the cost of healthcare. People in the workforce are going to want to know how we make Social Security not go bankrupt. People are going to want to know that the southern border's getting shut. People are going to want to know that we're positioning North Carolina to really do away with that personal income tax. I know it's coming. But then you also have to ask yourself this question about, especially about a state like North Carolina that appears to be purple, is where do we draw the line? You know, there's a push across the country to have CRT in our classrooms, just to push and I hate to use the term, but it is an LGBTQQQIPRSTUVW agenda in our classroom. So the left knows Republicans are in the winning position right now. We just have to capitalize on that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back here on Top of the Morning. Don't go anywhere. We got two more things we're going to cover for you today. The Energy Secretary had a little bit of a debacle, but we're going to check it out, and we'll be right back here on Top of the Morning. Don't go nowhere. Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at TUCONSERVATIVE.com. Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team and technology that help you prepare for retirement, children's education, or other financial goals. Call 252-473-1006 or visit the link on the screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're back on Top of the Morning. My name is Abdul Ali. Thank you so much for being here with us on Top of the Morning. If you haven't done so, give us a like, share, follow, subscribe. Hit us up, TUC Twins on YouTube. TUConservative.com is the website, $ TU Conservative if you want to spread some love on the Cash App. That way, our mission, again, is to share conservative values and principles and the benefits of conservative policies to urban communities across the country. And we do that with the support of our underwriters, our sponsors, and folks like you that watch the show, share the show, and engage in the conversation. As always, give us a shout out in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching from so we can give you a shout out. Now, how many of y'all know who that lady is on the screen? Okay, I'm gonna wait for a second. If you know who that lady is on the screen, you got 30 seconds. Put it in the chat. I'm gonna give you a few seconds because this is. I want to say interesting. I want to say weird. But this is typical of people on the left, and some might even say typical of politicians in general, that they're always wanting special treatment. It's like they always want to be treated differently. They always want to have advantages and perks. They don't want to pay their power bills. You know, they want to get special real estate deals. They want to, what do you call that? Get insider trading information. And they want to do things like block charging stations, right? They want to block charging stations. I can't make this up. All right. That is the Secretary of Energy, Jennifer Granholm, who was sworn in February 25th, 2021. Okay. That is the Secretary of Energy, Granholm. Now, the reason she is on our radar is because her staff, right, the police got called on her staff for blocking an electrical vehicle charger. Okay. I can't make this up. There's audio of a 911 call made when the U.S. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm's staff were blocking an EV charger this week. This was released by NPR that Granholm's recent 4-day road trip from North Carolina to Tennessee encountered an unforeseen problem when a member of her advance team used a gas-powered vehicle to block an EV charging station in fear that her caravan would not be able to recharge when they reached their destination. As a result, a couple with a baby called the police claiming that the parked car was preventing them from charging their vehicle. I'm calling because and this is the 911 call. Let me see if I can actually Find the here we do have audio of the 911 call. Hold on, we got actual we got some actual audio of this 911 call. Hold the phone. I'm about to play this audio.
Car that is taking up the space, who says they're holding the space for somebody else, and it's holding up a whole bunch of people who need to charge their cars.
All right, you're at the Walmart on Steiner Way.
The one in Grovetown that has the Arby's in front.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. It's like it's left. Yeah.
Are they
Hello?
still there?
They're still here, but one spot opened up, which is like not them, but there's other people who are waiting to charge, and they're still here, and they're not an electric car, and the sign says that it has to. You can't park here unless you're charging.
Correct.
What kind of car is it?
It's a Corolla. It's black.
Do you see a tag number?
I can get it, but they said that their person's going to be here in 2 minutes that they're holding the spot for. So maybe. Well, now I'm charging, so I don't even care anymore. But yeah.
Okay, I've got a deputy on the way. Can you see the tag number?
Oh, they just got here. Go take a picture of the Corolla tag. Go take a picture of the Corolla tag.
How many charges?
Jesús. Tengo que hacer todo yo.
That sounds just like the typical married couple in the car. Yeah, but that turned out being the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of Energy staff, right? This is their staff blocking the electric charging station, her advance team. So she couldn't wait like everybody else in line if the stuff was, packed. So the argument's going to be made, no police was filed, but the argument is going to be made that she's the Secretary of Energy and therefore she needed to have that charging station, blah, 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 blah. But it sounds like to me, the Secretary of Energy, but why are they rolling around in these electric vehicles anyway? Wouldn't it be more efficient to get a gas-powered car? I'm just saying. I just thought it would be more efficient. That's all. Yeah, but that's what the drama is surrounding the Secretary of Energy for hoarding a charging station. Don't go nowhere. We got to talk about these sisters of men of perpetual indulgence on the other side of this commercial break here on Top of the Morning. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at TUCONSERVATIVE.com. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at NewtonForSenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are back on Top of the Morning. Let me take a look at something real quick here. This is an interesting story. And the reason this is interesting is because we got basically, I'm a Christian. And I get that we live in a free society. I get that we live in a culture, in a country where people are free to pretty much do whatever it is that they want to do. I recognize and I realize that, like I said, we live in a free nation and we live in a country where if you decide that you, as a man, want to roll to, I don't know, pick a store, Walmart, rainbow, I don't know, and you want to buy some women's clothes, you can do that. You can put on makeup. You can walk down the street in a pink tutu if you desire. So I'm not judging people based on what it is they choose to do. Or I am judging people on what it is they choose to do. Let's be real. We are completely 1000% judging. Now, if you're drinking coffee and you're watching this, I'm about to pop a picture on the screen. We need to talk about this because yesterday we talked about a 5-year-old club, elementary rainbow club, okay, where they want to talk to the kids about things that are not kid friendly. But this is what you got going on right now. This guy right here is one of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. That's what they were called. He has been arrested for playing with the pickle in public, milking the cow, slapping the monkey, whichever term you want to put there. A member of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, an anti-Catholic drag queen group recently honored by the Los Angeles Dodgers, nonetheless, was arrested for beating his thing in public. A copy of the sheriff's report was obtained by the Daily Wire and showed that 53-year-old Clinton Monroe Ellis Gilmore was arrested in August at Table Bluff County Park in Lolita, California, after passersby noticed him openly whacking off in his car for over an hour. An hour? An hour, my dude? You was in the car for an hour. Okay. I mean, hey, all right, to each his own. But homie was in the car for a complete hour, sitting in his truck with the door open, going at it, said the sheriff's report. The conduct does not appear to have been directed at anyone in particular. Ellis Gilmore was not performing this alleged act in the dark of night, with the sheriff's report noting that he had over an hour of daylight left. The act also took place near a park that Google listed as being, quote, good for kids and, quote, kid-friendly hikes are available. Randy Fleek is an alleged witness who spoke with deputies, told the Daily Wire that Ellis Gilmore had his car door open and that he wanted people to see him playing with himself. Well, this is effed up, Fleek told the outlet. It's obvious. You can't help but see this guy. He's not hiding it. He wants everyone to see what he's doing. There's something wrong with that man. He's got a weird effing desire to show off to the public, to anybody that wants to look at him, Fleek added. He puts himself in a position and in a spot that you can't help but look at this son of a bitch. Conservative commentator Matt Walsh also noted on the platform formerly known as Twitter that Gilmore had been welcome to read to children at an elementary school. Okay? Now, you want to tell me in one breath that these people ain't out for no kids, but you got this. I mean, just look at the guy. It's pretty sad, folks. Since the state of affairs, you got drag queens beating off in parking lots in public. You got drag queens reading the kids in schools. You got schools sanctioning the sexualization of children. And this is all happening on our watch, ladies and gentlemen. What are we going to do about it? That's the question. What do we do about this? Do we have standards as a society, as a culture anymore? What happened to American decency? Where did decency go? But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. But with that said, this has been Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, that you jump over to TUCONSERVATIVE.com. Get yourself a membership. Support the platform. We'll be back here live and direct tomorrow morning with another 3 joints for you. Have a positive and productive rest of the day. Give us a like, share, follow, subscribe. Peace.